Let's. I'll let you finish scratching your leg there if you want to.
Well, I have popped a blister and I'm like bleeding, so I didn't want to get on my shorts.
You want to grab like a towel or something?
Well, it's good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just you were gonna have to do the bulk of the talking next year because you're silver next, and I didn't want you to keep going like, yeah, I really like the lawyer part.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is great. Hello, welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List here, and you know what? Still standing. Gravity didn't get us last week. That's what we joked about.
We joked about it, and it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
So
color me surprised on that one. But yeah, let's just get right into the opening spotlight here. Kind of a bitter, somber kind of opening spotlight here today, I would say, at the very least. In case people didn't know, this weekend is the 40-year anniversary of the movie Stand By Me. And since we're still kind of reeling with the death of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, we thought now would essentially be the perfect time to kind of break down our favorite Rob Reiner movies. I'm sure we've talked about some of our favorites before. A lot of these we probably mentioned, but we're going to do our classic sort of Olympic podium ranking here. Ooh. Our top 3, bronze, silver, gold, and break down our favorite Rob Reiner movies. Again, these are not the ones we think are the best. These are the ones that we enjoy the most, enjoy watching the most, talking about the most, rewatching the most. And I wouldn't be surprised if Stand By Me makes his way on here at least once. So, do we want to just go into it right here? Like I said, we've done this before, just kind of classic 1, 2, 3 ranking. We want to start with bronze.
Let's do it.
Do you want to kick us off on this one? What is your bronze pick for favorite Rob Reiner movie?
So for my pick, now I looked at all the movies that he's made because obviously I knew a good majority of them, but there were some that it's like, oh, I didn't know he was part of that movie. But I'm going with one of my favorite scary movies, Misery. And the reason I chose that was the first movie I would say I saw that was like confined space horror, or I just vividly remember the ankle breaking scene from when I was a kid, very vividly, and the way they shot it and how it moved, it was awesome. It was great, and it stuck with me for a long time. And yeah, that was just one of the first movies where I haven't seen anything like that. I'd seen like horror movies and scary movies, but this was something different, and it still sticks with me to today.
I'm assuming the reason why you pictured it so vividly is because we'll add that to the list of movies you probably saw younger than you should have.
Oh, yeah.
We'll add that to the compilation.
Yeah. I like to, yeah.
Yeah, you watched them young, didn't you? But you brought up an interesting point earlier on here as well, which is like when you think Misery, you do not think Rob Reiner. And this is something when you look at his career, and one of the reasons why I do think it kind of stands out to us as movie fans is he would do these fun comedies, and he'd do a romantic comedy, and then he would go out and do Misery, and it's completely different, like night and day. And he could jump genres so seamlessly. It's almost like he's been doing this for years, and it's a buildup. It's like, no, I'm just going to do horror this time. I wouldn't be surprised if in his office he had a dartboard and he just kept throwing at it like, okay, I guess I'll just write and direct one of the most influential romantic comedies of all time.
Yeah.
And then a week later, he was like, after that, we'll reinvent the genre of mockumentary.
Yeah.
Or something like that, you know? And that was a lot of his career there. So I think that's an interesting point, really. And, speaking of mockumentaries, let's actually use that as a segue to my bronze pick here. I'm picking This Is Spinal Tap. When you look at This Is Spinal Tap, I was doing a little research here. The genre of mockumentary had been around for a few decades at that point, but not really in the comedic art form as much. This was one of the first ones to really sort of define it and show off what it could be. I would even go as far to say that I don't know if it would never exist, but I think we wouldn't be getting TV shows like The Office, both the British and American version, Parks and Rec, or any of those shows now. Yeah. At the very least, not as soon as we had gotten them. I think maybe someone else along the line would have done this. It just would have been later, and it would be how many decades later we got in The Office. But I think this is a huge reason why we have those shows right now here, is because finally it was like, oh, well, yeah, here's a way you can do it and have it be funny. Because who thinks of documentaries and thinks funny?
Yeah.
So why would we spoof them? It's hard to spoof something serious.
Yeah.
So I think this sort of not truly redefined a genre for decades now.
Yep. Well, and I remember watching that as a kid too, and not really understanding what a mockumentary was, thinking, oh, this is a real. It was that and Anvil, the story of Anvil, the heavy metal, like an anvil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was like, oh, I get it. That's really funny.
Yeah. And also the bits just hold up in general. Like it's aged very well here. But let's move on to our silver medal picks here. I got you listed first here. Why don't you tell us what is your essentially second place favorite Rob Reiner movie?
You know what, Nick? I don't know if I'm going to tell you. I don't know if you can handle the truth. Didn't land, but that's all right. I'm not flying on a Top Gun.
Okay, now you're pushing.
Yeah, that was a little much.
Now you're really pushing.
Yeah,
just all right. What's the movie?
All right, I'm going with Rob Reiner's A Few Good Men. This is one of the few. Well, I shouldn't say few. There's a lot of movies that if they're playing on TV, I'll watch them no matter what. This is one of those. Tom Cruise is phenomenal. The rest of the cast is phenomenal. I almost said Phil Mickelson. It's not Phil Mickelson. What's his name?
Which one are you talking about? I don't know.
The captain.
Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson. I always want to say Phil Nicholson. Yeah. Anyways.
You just said there's a big cast, and you're like, who am I talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Just a great movie. Kind of gives you that. I like the early stages of it where before they're like, why did they do this? You know, you've done all these separate plea deals. Why did they give this case to you? Because they want you to do a plea deal. So it's great. It's good. Yeah.
Well, by pure coincidence, turns out I also have A Few Good Men as my silver pick here, believe it or not. And for all the reasons you talked about here, but also I feel like this was probably one of the first ones where we saw Tom Cruise as a serious actor. Mm-hmm. It was primarily action up to this point here. I mean, I guess unless you count Risky Business, I suppose, here or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like this was one of the first ones where we could look at him and go, okay, no, he can act. It's not just all about the stunts. It's not just all about I have the need for speed and all that sort of stuff here. He can act. And he's going up against a lot of very accomplished actors here. You mentioned Jack Nicholson, Kevin Bacon. That is some esteemed company, and he's right there with them throughout the whole scene and everything like that. And I feel like a lot of times with movies that a lot of people maybe, or maybe not the majority, have seen, you understand the final scene, or you are familiar with it, so it kind of gets spoofed and parodied so much, kind of like what you did here. But as you're even spoofing and parodying it, I'm sitting there thinking like, man, that is a great scene, and I'm just kind of playing it in my head here. Whereas, you know, I think even if you haven't seen the movie, you know that scene and you know how impactful it is a little bit. So again, you talk about like genre hopping. Who would have guessed that? I believe how Harry Met Sally was probably one of his first ones before this. I guess I could look up the list later or in a little bit. And then it was like shortly after that, he goes out and does this military courtroom movie.
Yeah, military courtroom drama.
Yeah, exactly. But without further ado, let's just move on to the top pick here. What is our gold standard for favorite Rob Reiner movie? Mr. Marber, kick us off.
Well, you kind of alluded to it earlier, but I'm going with the one and only Stand By Me. Now, I've referenced this movie probably a handful of times when I've talked about my favorite films. This has always been in my top probably 5 to 10 ever since I was a kid. I thought the puking scene was absolutely hilarious as a little kiddo. It was awesome. Just the whole adventure going down to the river to find a body, like all of that, just the classic like 1950s America feel. Everything about it is just awesome. And that's also another film. Whenever it's on, you watch it. If you like The Sandlot, it gives me like a more
it is very much
of The Sandlot.
Sandlot vibes. Yes, very much so. So I just want to correct myself here. So the two movies he had before A Few Good Men was Harry Met Sally and Misery. So we went from romantic comedy to scary cabin movie to courtroom drama.
Yep.
In that few year span there. So that just to clear that up here. But you talk about going on an adventure and everything like that. I'm going to go with sort of an adventure movie here as well. Is this necessarily his best? No, but we're talking about favorite here. And this is one of my favorites, The Princess Bride. This is a love story fairy tale that has like cheerful music that if you had described to me The Princess Bride and what it was all about and this like adventure and it's kind of cheesy, I don't know if I'd be into it if you just described it to me. Yeah. But for some reason, it just works. I feel like this truly is like what like a grandfather telling his grandson a story would kind of feel like being told or whatever like that. And being in this sort of fairy tale world, but it doesn't dive too much into the lore. It's just a simple fairy tale where it is kind of like a world where, there's a little magic. There's a little knights. There's some pirates.
There's a guy with 6 fingers.
Yeah, there's a guy with 6 fingers for some reason, but we're not going to talk about that, I guess. There's sorted giants, I guess you could say here, whatever. And yeah, it is just overall funny, but it's not like over dramatic. It's not like spoofing fairy tales. Like you could almost argue, you can almost get this movie confused with Robin Hood Robin Hood Men in Tights. Thank you. Where it almost looks the same. But like one is kind of like a serious almost adaptation of like fairy tales, whereas one is like, okay, this is the parody of it and everything like that. But they're both funny in their own ways, if that makes sense. But I feel like this is a classic. As You Wish is such an underrated quoted line. I feel like if we were to put like top 100 quoted movie lines, I feel like that one should be on there.
Be in the top.
I think As You Wish.
Yeah.
Because it's just used so well throughout the movie and everything like that. So, yeah, I gotta go with The Princess Bride. That's one of my favorites, just kind of all time. I think it's in my top 100, but it's my favorite Rob Reiner for sure.
Very good.
Well, those are our picks of our favorite Rob Reiner movies of all time. Please let us know in the comments down below which Rob Reiner film is your all-time favorite here. You could really pick a lot of these movies, and there's not really any I could argue with.
Yep.
There's not a lot of picks where I'd be like, I don't know where you're going with that one. There's a lot of them like, yeah, I get it.
Yep.
It makes sense. That works. And that just kind of shows how good of a career he had there.
Yeah, it's pretty. If you get a chance, and even if you don't have time to watch them, just go look at the films that he's done.
Yeah.
See, like, he's going to have directed movies that you didn't think he directed, or at least was a part of.
And not only that, the order.
Yeah.
It's just random. Like, it's almost like it was a randomizer. It was like, no, this is just the order he did them in.
Yeah.
Which is really impressive. Hey, we talk a lot about movies on this channel, but sometimes the ones we talk about aren't the most accessible. That's where the Marshall-Lyon County Library comes in handy. They have a great collection of physical media, as well as a couple of online services with many, many options for movies, TV shows, and documentaries. It's easy. Just get your own library card at the Marshall-Lyon County Library and gain access to their large variety of movies, TV shows, and of course, books. Also, be sure to check back every month as we here at Popcorn Bucket List make specific movie recommendations based on a monthly theme. So head on over to the Marshall-Lyon County Library for some of our favorites and check out the channel to get even more movie recommendations. And now, on with the show! But let's keep moving along here with the weekly preview. Talk about all the movies coming out here this weekend to theaters and streaming services. I think it's another week, though. Maybe my website just stopped showing me the streaming service ones here. I think it's just another week in a row where it's all theaters.
Let's go.
Yeah, all theater releases here on
Wish
this
they
one.
were better movies, but let's go.
There's a few good. Look, hey, just don't expect. Look, sometimes when you go foraging for berries, you're not going to get like the ones that are going to change your life. Sometimes you just need some nourishment, and that's what this.
When I go foraging for berries, I just don't want to fall in a hole.
Well, I don't think there's any.
If I don't fall in a hole, that's a plus.
I don't think there's any. Okay, maybe there's some small holes here. I don't know. Let's just break it down. Let's just break it down for you here. Friday, August 21st, we got Insidious Out of the Further coming straight to theaters here. Rated R. The cracks between the living world and the dead world, known as the Further, are growing, and more demons are slipping through. So now it's up to a select few to stop it all from falling apart. This is the 6th movie in the franchise. I feel like I always got to point this out here, not to be confused with the Conjuring movies. And that can be a little confusing because it had like the same lead actor in like the first few of this series. Yeah. And then he stuck around for like the Conjuring ones here. But yeah, it was the same lead actor for a little bit there. And it was like demons and stuff. It was a little confusing there for a minute. It was. But this is a whole different one here. But what are your thoughts on this movie and like the franchise in general? Have you seen all the movies?
Yeah, I've seen all the Insidious movies. I like them. I thought the Red Door was interesting, the latest one. A little bit different take on it, but I think they got to be getting close to. Is this the last one? I thought they were like gonna wrap something up, but I don't know. I like them. I enjoy them. A little predictable, but it is what it is.
I will say, visually speaking, a lot of eye horror in this one. At least in the trailer I saw, a lot of like close-up shots on the eyes and things. Almost.
Is that James Wan is a part of this?
I was gonna say either that or like. It was like James Gunn, I feel like, also in like that last Suicide Squad movie that he directed. There was a lot of like eye stuff, I feel like. Yeah. I don't know why that's becoming a growing trend here in Hollywood. Remember the simpler days when we just made fun of Tarantino and feet?
Yeah.
That was easier times.
Easier, simpler times.
I don't know. It does look creepy. It's not for me. I wish, and I'll say this again when we come around to October, why not wait till Halloween? It just feels like we're missing some key spooky weekends that this would do really good in.
There's just so much. If you're true, I'm sorry.
That's how not scary this movie is too. I guess you're falling asleep.
Well, no,
to it.
I've thought about this because if you're a true Halloween fan, you're going to be watching 31 Nights of Halloween. You're going to be going to scare things. Haunted hay rides, haunted houses, Halloween
costume
itself,
parties,
costume parties.
That's a fair point.
If you're actually like want to participate stuff with the holiday, going actually to a movie is not super high on your radar. If it's a new movie, I could see it. I don't know.
That's just it. I feel like Halloween is only like one day, though. You could still have that weekend.
That's true. And like the month leading up to it.
That was my point. Is I feel like last year the thing we kept talking about is like all the scary movies were coming out like the first or second week of Halloween, and it just felt like everybody was so scared that the big one was going to take over their marketing and the eyes and the attention span.
Yeah,
that nobody then took over the Halloween weekend because I feel like last year there was like nothing scary coming out.
There was nothing.
And I don't know. Summer has been good for scary movies this year. Obviously, Obsession and Backrooms. So maybe that's their argument to continue putting it here in August. I don't know. I feel like there's missed opportunity there.
Yeah. Also, you're right. There's no other scary movies right now.
Yeah.
So if you are a scary movie fan, you're going to go watch it.
Yeah. And hopefully people watch it just enough to knock Moana out of the top 10, but not enough to knock out Disclosure Day, which we talked about last weekend. I'm holding out hope. Holding out hope for that. Come on. We got a very small window. Yeah. We gotta take, just like Odysseus, there's a small window with that arrow. You just gotta aim it just right. Yeah. We can do it, right? Anyways, anything else you want to say about Insidious here?
No, looks good.
Do you have to see a lot of the previous ones to understand this one, do you think?
You can watch a 10-minute recap on YouTube. Okay, that'll be totally fine.
Okay, good. Because I have not seen any of them.
I'm sure there'll be some lore that you're not getting, but
yeah, I won't lose too much sleep over it, I feel like. Also coming out this weekend, Magic Faraway Tree, coming to theaters, rated PG. 3 kids and their parents relocate to middle of nowhere countryside. Eventually, they find a magical tree that transports them to a whole different world full of fun and magic. I do feel like there's a little bit of mixed message here. On the one hand, they're saying, go outdoors, have fun. On the other hand, they're also saying, like, it's very easy to get kidnapped into a different dimension.
Don't go into that forest. We told them not to.
I know. It's like, on the one hand, it's like, get away from your technology. On the other hand, their technology could have helped them track them, and they could have found their kids a lot quicker. So there's a balance there. What are our thoughts on this one?
For kids that like I would say Chronicles of Narnia, some of those style movies, I think that you'll like this. I think it looks okay. for younger audiences.
I will say, you bring up Chronicles of Narnia. This is also based off of a book series. It does seem like this is a more kid-friendly Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah.
Narnia got dark sometimes, man.
It did.
Yeah, I feel like it got serious there a little bit. So, I don't know. Yeah, it looks very colorful. It does look very fun. I love it when super talented actors come and do these fun kids movies. Like, you got Andrew Garfield, you got Claire Foy, Rebecca Ferguson. She's starring in this movie here. And they're just kind of hamming it up a little bit there, I feel like.
Rebecca Ferguson looks kind of scary.
She does.
She looks awesome.
She does. Honestly, actors like that, they could just phone it in.
Yeah.
They could not care as much, and I don't think any of us would judge them.
No.
It's a kid's movie. You don't have to put in all your effort into it, but they do because they're professionals. That's why you going to say? You're the one
I'm not saying her. I like her.
I'm
saying some people, not her.
Are you saying anyone in this movie?
No. Just
Okay.
I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
You can definitely
No,
tell
I'm
some
talking about
people.
this movie. I'm saying these people are professionals.
Yeah.
Because they put it all in here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, sometimes people just phone it in.
Yeah, and it's not good.
Whatever. Get your paycheck. I don't care. Let's move on to another movie coming out this weekend. We got Mutiny, also coming to theaters, also rated R. We got a bonus Statham movie, folks. We usually only get one a year.
Yep.
We get an extra one. Yeah, it's a good year.
We are lucky.
It's a good year. It's a good year.
We should all go get some lottery tickets. That's how lucky we are.
You go and do that. You let me know how that works.
All right.
You let me know how that works.
Just let me borrow the Omni card and.
You and the creditors are asking for that one. Here we have Jason Statham's character who is framed for his boss's murder, which means he has to clear his name by infiltrating an international conspiracy. Because, I mean, if you're going to do something, you might as well go all in, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, the simple crime is tied to an international conspiracy. A lot of this movie is going to take place on a large cargo ship, which means a lot of room to run around, a lot of nameless henchmen to take out creatively. Yeah, what do we think of this one here overall?
I'm super excited for it just because I don't know if you saw the PR stunt that they did. They had some ship in some, like, California maybe, and it was like a giant ship, and it right by the ship, there was just this button that said, like, push this button for mutiny. And just out in the middle, like, where people are walking.
Yeah.
And then some, like, kids, like, walk by, and, like, families are looking at it, and everybody's kind of staring at it. Eventually, somebody goes over and does it, and then, like, boom, sirens go off, and then you see a person, like, run out of the ship, and then they do, like, a whole fight, and they're jumping, and, like, fake police come and do it. But, like, it's cool. It's really sweet. I love when they do, like, marketing like that.
I will say, I feel bad for the guy who had to start with the running because he's probably sitting there. You got to be, like, in position, ready to go as soon as possible. Gotta be. And he's just sitting there, and, like, who knows how long people were just walking by, and he's sitting there going, well, one of you just hit this button. I've been in the squatting starting blocks getting ready to run here for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Somebody hit it. And then finally the kid granted him mercy.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I like creative marketing stunts too, I guess, here. But yeah, if I just saw a button saying cause a mutiny, I'd be like, look, 99% chance this is a stunt. But on the off chance that this causes a real life mutiny and people die because of it, I'm not going to be the one to press that button.
What was the movie? If you push this button somewhere, someone will die, but they don't know who and they don't know how.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Was it Morgan
Freeman? Are you sure you just didn't hit a
No,
button?
it's huge, like, hey, it's like you get $1 million or
I've heard of that. I've heard of that quandary before.
Yep. But if you hit the button and it's an actual button, like it's an actual thing, but then they show you the people's lives that it caused, and it's like, oh, he's walking across the street and a car hits him. So, like, it's hard. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
The Gift, I think.
Okay, you look that one up here, I guess. But while you do that, let's talk a little bit more about Jason Statham here. I think we've talked about this before. We kind of want him to have his own franchise that he can kind of call his own, that he can actually build up here. I think we've maybe said that before, at least I have. But now kind of looking at this one, I'm curious if maybe doing these like one-off, crazy, just kind of fun action movies is almost in his better interest, because now at this point it keeps things at least a little bit fresh, because you never know exactly what he's going to be fighting on next year, I feel like. Whereas we see sometimes with these large franchises, sometimes they run out of ideas. It's like, could Jason Statham continue to be in the Fast and Furious franchise? Sure. But at this point, it's kind of sick and tired and worn out. So now we kind of hate it a little bit more. Is it maybe better for his career that he doesn't have like his one franchise that has done multiple sequels and built these spinoffs and all that? Now it's just kind of like, hey, we're kind of all in on the joke. Hey, it's the yearly Jason Statham movie where this time he's fighting on a boat, or this time he's fighting on an island. This time he's homeless. This time he's rich. Like, we never know what we're going to get next. Like, do we almost think that's better for him?
I think a little bit, because you can try different characters. You can try different things. He could do something and be on this boat and be like, you know what? I actually spending all this, over here practicing at the sea. I learned how to scuba dive. I want to try scuba diving now and fighting somebody. Like, it's
coming to Meg 3.
Yeah.
Him just straight up facing up against him in the water.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like in the past I've kind of argued like we want him to have his franchise, and he got close, I feel like, with the Transporter movies. But I don't know. I almost think this is better for him.
I do too. And I think with this, it allows more of a supporting cast, and it gives other people opportunities to, oh, hey, you can be in my film on your way to bigger films. Especially like stunt people. They can try new things, and it's cool.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the final movie here this weekend, we have Spa Weekend. This one's coming to theaters, rated R. 4 friends, 3 who have stressful work lives, and 1 who is an absolute mess, try to de-stress during a spa weekend. However, things don't go fully as planned, thus hilarity ensues.
You said one of them's a full mess? They all look pretty full mess to me.
I mean, the other ones we know for sure have careers in the trailer. We don't know what the other one does, I guess. They don't show her job, so I'm assuming she's a mess.
I assume they're all a mess.
I think they're all a mess, like frazzled, like stressed out. But one's like, I guess we don't know what her deal is. She seems to be doing all right if she can afford a spa weekend. But
I don't know.
I guess it depends on how you define mess, too.
I think they're all in a mess.
I think you just are not looking forward to this movie, and so you're looking any way to bash it.
I would rather go to a spa day than watch a spa day.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
I don't like people touching me.
I want it all. I want it all.
Coming soon to Omni Entertainment. We give Ryan a mud bath.
Can't wait.
But we prank him, and the mud isn't actually mud.
Oh!
This just turned into a practical joker real quick. So one thing I will say here is this goes a very same vibe as like Bad Moms, those movies. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is because it was written and directed by the same people who are these 2 guys who are doing a woman comedy.
Oh, brother!
Maybe I just had a little bit more of a problem with that here.
Jeez, maybe that's why they just don't land for me. Like if it was all written by women, for women, then maybe some of the jokes would land, or because I feel like when it's a guy trying to do women's thing, it doesn't work.
Well, and it's weird because I've seen the first Bad Moms movie. I never saw the second one. I liked that one. I thought it was funny, but I will say with this particular movie here, I feel like the pieces are there. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it was with this trailer. I feel like didn't show any of the funny stuff here.
The trailer made me mad because I like those actresses.
Yeah, this is a very talented cast.
Yeah. So
I will say it was kind of surprising seeing Leslie Mann without Judd Apatow producing or whatever here. That was also kind of interesting, but I don't know. It feels like the pieces are there. Again, maybe it's just this trailer. I'm hoping it was the trailer.
Hopefully they can solve the Rubik's Cube. Like it's there.
Yeah. The answer is there. So hopefully this does well here because, it'll be a good kind of end of the summer comedy here. Again, I feel like every once in a while there's kind of like one big comedy that works. That does not only does or is well, but does well financially. I feel like we haven't gotten there yet. Breadwinner did fine, but it didn't do gangbusters like I was hoping. True. Maybe it'll be this one. Hopefully it's Coyote versus Acme because that's the other one I need to knock out Moana and not knock out Disclosure Day. So, yeah, I'm asking for a lot out of the box office these next few weeks. I don't think it's going to work. I keep forgetting Isla Fisher has an Australian accent.
Yeah.
But I looked into it more. Fun fact, she was actually born in Scotland.
Scotland?
And then she actually moved to Australia when she was like 4 years old. So that's where the Australian accent comes from. I mean, think about it. Scottish born, Australian accent, usually in American movies has to do a regular American accent. That's
we say just speaking normal.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, knowing that her performances gain like 10% better in my mind, just because of how much she has to like
think,
think and
over,
like do that.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, all of her performances just got a little bit better for me because of what I read there. So
there you go.
But let's move on to some number one recommends. Talk about things we saw here recently. I was very busy with the fair throughout most of the week. So when Saturday came around, I wanted nothing more than to just lie on my couch. And so I popped on Netflix and saw, I'd say, quite a few documentaries, whatever here. So I'll let you decide.
All right.
Would you rather me talk about the one that I think is more impactful, more important, or the one that is funnier?
More impactful, more important.
That's the one you want me to talk about? Oh, I figured you'd make me pick the funnier one. Oh, okay.
Funny is subjective.
Well, I kind of built up in my head that you would do the funny
Nick,
one.
Tell me about the funny one.
I kind of mentally prepared about doing that one.
Here, let's try it again.
Okay, no, I'll just talk about it. Okay, yeah. Take two. Ryan, would you rather I do the boring one that's, more impactful and probably better, teaches us about society and all that, or would you rather me do the more obscure, funny one?
Ooh, obscure and funny. I want you to tell me your first one after, but right now I want you to tell all these people about the funny one.
Okay, so here was the one that I had heard about this story beforehand, but I had totally forgot about it. And then Netflix did a documentary on this. And I know we've sort of talked about this series. They do these kind of randomly every once in a while. It's the Untold series. This one was about chessmates. This is the one about the chess cheating scandal from like a year or two ago.
Yep.
You remember
the plug?
This one? Yep. Yeah, exactly. With we'll call it the plug.
Plug.
Yeah, when this story was happening in real time, I had heard about it. I think I had read about it for a story on the radio station, but I had just barely scratched the surface on this one here. So actually seeing what everything went down and hearing both sides.
It's crazy.
You see both sides. They bring both of them and interview them separately, and they kind of get their perspectives and all that. And it's like, oh my God, the chess world. We have not been paying attention enough to the chess world.
No.
We're so focused on PEDs and physical sports and cheating and all that sort of stuff here, and we need to check in on our chess people every once in a while. If you know a person who's obsessed with chess, check in on them every once in a while. Put your hand on them and say, hey, is this really worth it to try to become the best chess master in the world here? Because I don't think it is.
No.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about here, just Google it. I'm not going to say it here, but yeah. Do I think he did it? Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
Because
he wants to become the best in the world.
And
what do you do?
And on that, on that note, he went for it, man.
He did.
He went for it. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, those Untold documentaries are just kind of interesting one-off.
And some of them are a little bit shorter, but they're a nice. They pick usually a good subject, and they're very, very well done.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us what you're going to be recommending here this week?
Well, this week I went to the end of Oak Street, and it was.
Did you take Google or Apple Maps?
Google, Apple Maps. Yeah. Do those even work?
That's what I'm saying.
Is that real?
You disappeared on me for a while there. That's why I figured why. I thought you were lost.
No. Nope. I was actually, Google Maps saw that I had a rough day, so they routed me to get some ice cream on my way.
Okay.
So they were awesome. Apple Maps was trying to tell me to go off the cliff, and I said, no. I said, no.
All right, talk about the Dino movie.
Dinosaurs are back. That was really well done. I really enjoyed End of Oak Street. Pretty good graphics, actually, and I would say probably the most realistic looking dinosaurs in probably any dinosaur movie that we've seen. I had a problem with the first few minutes, but it resolved itself pretty quick. Go check it out. It's good. You may or may not see some force use. You never know. Just check it out.
May not. You will not see force use there. Don't get people's hopes up. Look, we're already lucky enough we got a good dinosaur movie, which we haven't gotten in like decades. Let's not force the issue here, all right? But yeah, that's going to end it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. It's officially back to school season. So again, if you need to get some back to school sort of mood here and everything like that, be sure to check out this month's display at the Marshall Lyon County Library, where we have some movie recommendations with sort of a school theme and over there. And speaking of which, be on the lookout next week. I believe we will be posting another edition of Are We Dumber Than a Middle Schooler here, basically the trivia game show where we take legal adults, people who are like, 20 over or whatever here, and we quiz them on elementary school questions.
That's me.
You would think people would score 100% on this test.
You would think.
I did not on the first episode. No one did on this one.
Yeah, after the first one, I was really, I think I did pretty good the first one. First one I did really well.
The first one you won.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And maybe what did I do this time?
Yeah. I will tell you again, though, nobody got 100%. Which, again, these are elementary school questions. True. We are legal adults.
97% could be the difference between first and last. So you'll have to tune in. You'll have to see how the champion represented.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess. But, yeah, like I said, that'll be coming out here next week. So be on the lookout for that. For myself, Ryan, and guest director Levi, thanks for stepping in here this week. We'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the movies.